time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Happy Monday, everybody. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York. Welcome to Coming In Hot. This show brought to you by Bet365. Yorkie, it's nice to see you back since you were on the other side of the country all weekend.
It's in God's country, Wally.
No,
Victoria,
that's the Maritimes, Yorkie.
BC, both coasts. I love both coasts. Equal love to both coasts. Yeah. No, I was there for my brother's wedding. Ethan got married in Victoria. Beautiful new wife, McKenna. She's from out there. So no, it was a fantastic time. The weather, for anyone who's ever been out in Victoria, it's so weird. Like it says it's like 12 degrees, 14, but it doesn't, but then it feels like it's like 20, 25 when you're there. Like it's just, I guess winter rains all the time, but summer just gorgeous there, Wally. So no, it was a good trip. And I'm man, I felt like the milk run on the way home though. We had there was like a 3-hour layover in Toronto. And yeah, rough morning. Extra, I think I'm going triple coffee this morning.
But I've never been to Victoria, by the way.
It's good. Yeah, I would, you know what? It's worth the trip. It's pretty quiet, but some good golf courses. I played the Victoria Golf Club. Beautiful course, Wally. 8 holes on the ocean. There's some pics right there. Look at that. Hey, how did these two guys get together? Oh, I got to remember his name. I got to give him a shout out right there. It's Colton, my new buddy Colton. So how about this? I get ready to because I'm at the Royal Ottawa. They set this tea time up for me. You're gonna play with a guy by the name of Colton. I'm like, oh, Colton, he's probably like some old Victorian that's been living there in Victoria for the last 20 years. I picture Colton with maybe like a handlebar mustache, distinguished guy, probably like maybe in his early 60s. So I'm prepared to meet this guy Colton. All of a sudden, this young dude shows up. He's got the sports socks almost up to his knees. He's got the kicks on. He's got the crazy hair. But it was awesome. I think, and he said he was going to watch today. Colton is a massive Sens fan. Was actually born in Ottawa, and we had a great time. Good dude, Colton. Hope you're watching. Said he was going to subscribe to the pod, but totally. I had when you picture somebody. And you think they're going to be somebody, and it turns out totally different. Well, that was Colton. So we had a great time.
Okay, we have the coach standing by, so let's get enough chit chat with you this morning.
I know, Jacques. Listen, it was tough enough because you asked Jacques to come on, and we ran into him in Toronto. And he looked at you. He's like, "I'm kind of busy right now, Wally. There's stuff going on. We're in the playoffs and stuff."
Yeah, but I just wanted to double check that I had the right number. That's all.
Yeah, he has your number. Don't worry.
He just had it blocked. Anyway, this show brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers. Proudly Canadian owned and operates since 1972 with more than 85 locations across the country through Charm and their sister brands. Get custom marine building delivered in less than 4 weeks with a Charm Masterpiece program and unbeatable pricing policy. Don't forget to apply for the Charm Diamond Flexity card today, and you won't have to pay until 2026. Get approved for no interest financing in minutes. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com. Chosen forever, Charm Diamond Centers.
Beautiful, Wally, beautiful. And this show also brought to you by Merkley Supply. Merkley, for over a century, has brought passion, expertise, and the highest quality of masonry supply. They're home to the largest masonry boutique in Eastern Ontario. They deliver to Ottawa, Gatineau, Kingston, Ottawa Valley, and the surrounding areas, from Canada's Supreme Court to your home's front steps. No matter your project, Ottawa, Merkley is proud to set that in stone for you. So if you're looking for some stone, brick, landscaping products, or specialty building supplies, you can count on Merkley Supply. Go to merkleysupply.com or visit their showroom in Hittenburg. Merkley. Make every milestone.
And Coming In Hot brought to you by the City Match Play Championship. This Match Play Championship takes place in Ottawa for golfers of every skill level. There's a division for any skill, and yes, any age, males and females. There are some team divisions as well. You can enter any division that suits you and get matched up in a bracket style match play golf tournament that's for Ottawa and surrounding golfers. Check out the details at citymatchplay.golf. Individual divisions, team divisions. There's no reason not to play in this great city championship since they cater to those who can shoot over 100 as well. Count me in. You will always compete against someone similar in skill level, so check it out, citymatchplay.golf. Yorkie, before we move on,
Yep.
It's Chowda pointed out in the show. I'll have to see if I can get this up.
Why do you bring up Chowder?
Colton getting Good Guy Club access before Wally.
Like Colton's a good dude. He never. He's actually. I asked, like, "Did you play any hockey growing up?" He goes, "No, I played cricket." I guess cricket's the thing in Victoria. A lot of people that live in Victoria are from England, so he was played some cricket. Wally, that'd be a good sport for you. Cricket.
No, it wouldn't.
I could see you doing that.
The pickleball courts at they were playing cricket there on the weekend. Actually,
yeah.
I don't want to play cricket.
Cricket guys are kind of crusty, though, so I think you'd be good. I think you'd be a good fit for you.
Okay. Okay. Jacques just had to reconnect, so we're gonna just.
Okay. I thought he was impatiently waiting as we yammered along.
Well, that's like, what coach, and you would know Jacques very well, obviously playing for him. Coaches are on time. Like if it's 9:01, you're there by 9.
If we should have brought. You just told me Jacques was coming on yesterday. If I would have known this, would have loved to have gone with the three-headed monster. Sean McEachran would love to sit in for this conversation because Mac and I joke all the time because he's coaching right now D3 at Suffolk University, and we talk all the time about what kind of drills you're doing, what systems, and he runs pretty well the same program that Jacques does, which I did when I coached too. Because you play for someone for so long and you find out what works. But Mac and I always have good conversations about Jacques. Tell old Jacques stories. It's
why didn't you just send Mac a text?
Well, I was a little busy. I was on the milk run from Victoria yesterday.
So you weren't busy. You were just on a plane.
We can't call from the plane, and there's no texting. I got the phone in airplane mode. Otherwise, the plane will crash if it's not in airplane mode.
That's not true. Don't you remember the Joey? Were you? No, you weren't on the team.
I remember. Yes, I was.
Were you on the plane when he argued with the flight attendant?
Yeah, he said it was a farce. It's because Juno he had built airplanes, and he goes, it's just something to keep flight attendants busy and to keep them to tell you stuff.
All right. Well, I'm sorry that we'll ask Jacques about coaching Sean McEachran too while we're at it. Anyway, so to do this, Yorkie, as I told you, we have the Sens Summer Series. Well, we now have a fancy new opening as we get to Jacques. Here we go.
Let's go.
The Sens Summer Series.
Wow.
Jacques, is that not good?
Jacques muted.
I think you're muted, Jacques. At the very bottom.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there you are.
We got you.
High tech.
Jacques, is that the new style now? You got the shades, you're loosened up, you're just always happy?
Well, I got to be ready for the summertime. I should send you the picture on the boat and the lake.
Yeah. What lake are you on?
Lac Brome. It's an eastern.
Where?
Eastern Township, Knowlton.
That's great up there in the summer, eh?
Yeah, it's good. It's good place to be in the summertime.
Hey, are you still running the Jacques Martin Hockey School?
Yeah, we'll run in 42nd year this year.
Wow,
that's pretty good.
It's great. Okay, who do you have coming to the Jacques Martin Hockey School this summer?
What pro?
Yeah, which pros are coming? Who do you got?
Jason York.
My invitation was gone like 20 years ago. This is what Jacques used to do. Jacques used to come by the dressing room before the season was over, and he'd say, "Hey, Yorkie, think you can come to my hockey camp this summer? And you couldn't say no because you're your coach. Then you talk to other guys, and all of a sudden you quietly had lined up like 5 guys, and you'd get your call every summer to come out. Usually Rigaud or Hawkesbury, right, Jacques?
Yeah, it's Rigaud now. No more Hawkesbury. But
oh yeah,
it's a lot tougher to get players now than before.
Really?
Yeah, because
it's a lot easier when you're the head coach. When you're not the head coach,
yeah, come on,
just kind of dust you off.
You should have asked Tim Stutzla at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim's in Germany in the summertime. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to come back for a day of hockey.
She's like, can increase your playing time if you show up, son.
Yeah.
Pierre Grew, is he like, he must be year 30 by now for you?
Yeah, it must be. Actually, talking about Pierre Grew, actually last summer, his goaltender for his team last year, the women's pro team in Ottawa, she's the one that came for pictures and sign autograph for the kids. So,
is that Mashmeyer?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great.
That was good. Yeah. Kids enjoyed
By the way,
that.
yesterday, before we forget, the Ottawa Charge played the longest PWHL game in history. It went to 4 overtimes before they unfortunately lost in the 4th overtime. Anyway, I watched it. It was great.
Jacques, before we get into the Sens stuff, I got to tell you, Sean McEachran. When's the last time you talked to Sean McEachran?
Wow, long time. I can't remember.
He's coaching D3 right now at Suffolk University in Boston. So Mac comes on this show all the time, and we joke around all the time. He tells me he runs pretty well the same practice, same drills, same systems as we used to run back late 90s. And it's funny, I was the same way, Jacques. I think I told you this before. When I was coaching Kempville in the CCHL, I'm like making my practice plans. And all of a sudden I'm explaining to the kids that every chip has to be 2 feet off the boards. I show them exactly how to do it. Dump-ins have to be up on the glass, soft chips. If you stay on the ice over 30 seconds, it's non-negotiable. And I'm like, holy, I've turned into Jacques.
Well, it's funny. Like those are good things, but like this year, working with the coaches in Ottawa, it made me appreciate the one area probably that I didn't spend enough time was working in the offensive zone. Like it's unbelievable now all the work that they do. I guess with times it evaluates. And, what's really important for teams now is to spend time in the offensive zone. So that's why, like in practice, Travis, they do a lot of work at, resetting behind the net and, just not giving the puck away, but trying to control the puck in the offensive zone. And, I look back, that's probably one area, I guess maybe the media was right in saying I was a defensive coach, but, you spend a lot more time, and it's unbelievable now how the kids, all the players are skilled, like how good they are in tight area at beating people, handling the puck and the quickness of the game. It's unbelievable.
But at the end of the day, we're watching the playoffs right now, and you still win with defense and managing the puck and playing the right way. But I had a bet with Wally last year. When you came in and took over the team, I said to Wally, and Wally will say, I guarantee you, Jacques is going to make these guys work on changes. He said, well, how is he going to do that? I go, he's going to make them practice it. And sure enough, you came in and you did that. But you got to be proud, though, Jacques, because this team needed to change some things on being professional and how they went about things. But it must be nice for you now to know that you kind of had a little bit of a hand in watching where this team has gone, because it's been a pretty good transformation.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I give the credit to the players. And I think what happens, Jason, is that, you had a bunch of young players, very talented young guys that, thought they would come in the National Hockey League and have success as a team. Well, it doesn't work that way. And I think after, losing for several years, then it's a lot easier for them to start listening and put into practice some of the things that the coaches are teaching them. And I think this year, I thought the coaches did a great job. I think they've got a great staff with the Sens now. I think there's great chemistry. And I give a lot of credit to Travis. He uses his staff extremely well. He empowers his assistant coaches. Like Alfie's done a great job with the power play. I mean, I kind of it makes me smile where I see when Alfie first started last year with me, and where he was this year. Where I look at him at the end of the year, and also being part of the coaching staff for Sweden at the Four Nations tournament, but always come around as a coach, like the amount of time he spends on video preparing and how his presentation, his meetings now, it's tremendous. And, Mike Yo, all the staff, I think they all have different, they all bring a different element, and they do an outstanding job. Ben Sexton working with the individual players, doing the pre-scouting, Nolan Baumgartner working with our defense, and when you look at the progression of the defense this year, you got to give them a lot of credit. So I think it's encouraging for the organization, but I think when I sit back and like this year, like being involved with them, just being able to observe how they're operating and how much work they do and the time preparing the team. And the response of the players. So, the only question I have is I wonder now that you don't see those hard skates at the end of practice anymore. First of all, there's hardly any practices anymore. So you wonder all the guys are fit to play like a high tempo game, because like they don't like. I remember Yorkie, we used to have to like once a week we used to have what I'd call a work day, but. I guess just the change in time, and now it's all related to the managing the workload, and it's all about recovery. So times have changed.
Jacques, they don't even stretch anymore.
Pardon?
There's not even any stretch at center ice anymore. Like they're just right into it.
Yeah. Well, I guess they do it. Most of them are pretty good as far as doing the stretching and all the preparation in the gym before they go on the ice.
But it used to be the cool moment if you pick somebody to go in the middle. No one really stretched, but they don't even do that part of the practice anymore.
Yeah, that was the fun part. That was the time video where the players would, give it to one of each other. Something happened the night before, like they give themselves a shot. But what I liked the best was, it's too bad they don't do it anymore, was the bike ride, the recovery ride. Get the media into the gym.
I hated it.
I still have dreams. After every game. Win or lose, this is the Jacques Martin rule after every game. It'd be on the whiteboard. Food, rest, recovery bike. Win or lose, it was on the board. You could not get away from that bike. It's always there.
Oh, hated it. It was so jammed and crammed in there. 6 guys around one guy on a bike, just the sweat pouring off.
Did you get Jacques? Do you remember? Did you ever watch the video? Was it Gary Roberts that pretended he was riding the bike? Did you ever see that?
Brendan Shanahan.
Did you ever watch that?
No.
Where was that, Wally?
It's here in Ottawa because I was in the scrum. Shanahan's in he's playing for Detroit. He's in the visitors' locker room, and he just pretends that he's on the bike as he's doing the interview. So that was the ode to Jacques Martin. Yeah.
But here's a great story, you guys. That was before I got to the NHL when I was coaching the Guelph Platers. We acquired Gary Roberts at Christmas time. And I remember the first time, like we used to do twice a week. Well, in the fall, we used to run 5 miles twice a week. And after when the winter came, we would just do the gym, the workout in the gym. And I remember the first practice. After the first practice, we had a gym at the rink in Guelph, and all the guys would, we had different station, and we'd rotate. You remember Yorkie? So anyway, Gary comes up to me. He says, I can't do that. I've got issues with my thumbs. Oh, I said, okay, no problem. So I bring the bike right by the weight room. I set him on the bike, set up what I want him to work at, the old time for half an hour and a pretty good workload. Funny, the next workout, he was part of the group and he was doing the weightlifting, no more biking.
No, we had Jacques had in the room. I remember that if you couldn't do the bike, remember the old Ubi, Jacques, that you had to do with your arms?
Oh, the UBE.
Oh God. that was Denny VL's favorite workout. The Ubi, just get on there, and his chin would be like that, get on there. But if you say, hey, got a bad leg, knees, all right, get on the Ubi, you can do that. And Jacques would be in the middle of the room with the whistle on, up on a bench, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, get the workout in. That stuff though, man, that builds team character though, Jacques, when you grind through those and you do those as a team, because you got, like, it's, to me, it was more, yeah, you're getting the workout in, but it's more of a team thing. And to me, it keeps your group tight.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay, I don't know if I've asked you on the previous show the last time you were on. I heard about you used to love team building exercises at training camp, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
I remember we went to Charlevoix one year. I don't know what happened in Charlevoix, if you guys got lost or what happened, because you came back and it was like pitch dark, if I'm not mistaken. Is in Florida, did you not get hurt doing one of these?
No, never did.
No?
No.
I got to double check. I think that someone said that perhaps you like rolled your ankle or something doing one of these exercises.
Oh, I can't remember, but I remember in Charlevoix the one year when we went, like it was mountain, we had to climb a mountain, and the second group that went, by the time they got to the top, when they came down, it was dark. And I can't remember the name of the one player. He kind of panicked, so the person in charge had to go and help him to come down. Remember that? But I think that was great. You know, like also at the same time, there used to be like at the end of that session, we used to go and we'd have a dinner at a restaurant bar, and there was a place in Charlevoix called the Bootlegger. It was a great restaurant bar. And anyway, the one night that we went there, I remember like the lady that owned the bar, her boyfriend had a band, so she got the band. The band was playing, and she'd invited some of her friends. Anyway, so I remember when it came time for the guys to leave, it was about 11 o'clock. It took me an hour to round up all to get on the bus to get back. That was with Montreal, actually. And I forgot the name. Defenseman, a Russian defenseman.
Malakoff?
No.
Not Markov.
Yeah, Markov.
Okay.
Markov, yeah.
The next day he was hurting, boy.
The
Russian vodka.
To get you every time.
The weirdest, strangest Jacques Martin team building exercise that I ever did, and I don't know if you remember this one. I don't know if you thought of it or it was Perry Pern. You guys had us play blindfolded soccer, where we had to put a blindfold on and play soccer, and a guy beside you had to tell you what to do. So you had to build trust through your teammate. All these guys running around in a parking lot with a blindfold on trying to play soccer.
That was Perry's girl.
Oh, Perry, eh? You still talk to Perry, Jacques?
Oh yeah, I still talk to him. Yeah.
Oh, he's such a
Perry
good guy.
Good. You guys were a great tandem together. Is it surprise you now to see how big coaching staffs are? Like you look on the bench now, you can't get the entire back is just jammed. Are you shocked at how much it's changed since you and Perry were running the bench?
Well, I think it's for the good, though. I think it's the game has evolved. There's so much more video, and also the fact that there's so little practice time now. So you in order to improve, like a lot of the players, they do a lot of individual work, video work. So like the coaches, like you've got the special team coaches that work with their team, video and on the ice, and also then the defense and the forwards. So I think it's good. It just the game has expanded. I remember, I think when I first came to Ottawa, when I was hired by I think Pierre had fired all the coaching.
Rick Bo, you took over for Bonus.
No, I took over. Rick Bonus got fired.
No, it was
Allison.
Davey Allison, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, David Allison. And then when Pierre Gauthier fired David Allison, he also fired, I think, was whoever was assistant coaches then. So I remember I coached for a couple of weeks. I was by myself, and then I asked Pierre to see if I could get Andre Savard to come and help finish the season.
Oh, so good.
I love
Pierre Maguire, Alain Vigneault, and Chico
Yes.
Resch were the
Yeah.
coaches.
That was a great that one staff though, Jacques, with you, Perry, and Rammer. Man, that was a good staff. Like the details. Perry, I'll say this: Perry still has the record for longest pregame speeches. I don't know if you know this. We used to secretly time them to see how long he would go. I think he's got a record for 40 minutes or something. But every single detail, and really. Like when do you think a player stops listening? Like after 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah, probably. But I used to keep the stopwatch when we used to have our meetings before the game. They used to have 5 minutes to do their meeting, 5 minutes power play, 5 minutes penalty kill, 5 minutes for the game. Because the attention span is not great. It's probably improved. Like it's funny. Like the one year when I was in Pittsburgh, we got invited by the Steelers staff, their training camp, to go and observe how they operated, and I was really impressed. The feedback and the discussion between the players and the coaches, like the involvement of the players. And I know football is different, but I think the main reason was that they were all small groups. Like you got the quarterbacks, they have their own meeting with their quarterback coach, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, running backs, and so on. So I remember, when I came back, I used it a couple times. What I did is try to get maybe 4 groups of 5 guys, and maybe we'd have a dozen clips that we would show, and then as the coach, instead of being the guy just pointing out the either the good things or the mistakes or where you want, you act as a moderator. And you ask questions, so the player has to find out exactly what was done, how could have played it differently, and so on. I found that very effective because I felt like the players kind of had more of a onus to it, in the discussion.
I have a lot of questions, but I want to get back to you going back behind the bench last year. I didn't get a chance to ask you, what was that moment like for you to step behind the bench? Coach the team that you are, the winningest coach in franchise history, obviously. It was just a cool moment to see for people who had grown up with you. It was cool to see.
Yeah, I enjoyed going behind the bench. What I didn't, I guess, because of my shoulder, I have an issue with the shoulder. I haven't got it done. I'm hoping to get it done in June. I need a shoulder replacement, so I couldn't go on the ice, but. I enjoyed coaching the team. I thought that we had some good young players and just needed to understand some basic principles about how to play the game, and try to inject that, try to bring that to their attention. And I thought that, we got the process going, and I think this year the coaching staff did a great job of getting the guys really to buy in and play the 200-foot game.
It must have been nice, Jacques, watching Stützle play in the playoffs this year, the way he was competing and the way, from when you first came to where he is now as a player. I'm seeing a massive difference in just how he takes care of the puck, how he and how he competes.
Yeah,
I thought he was really strong in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. It was nice. Like you say, when I first started, I had quite a few headaches from, I think he loved to turn the puck over at the offensive blue line, wind chip the puck in, all the fundamentals that I preached for so many years. He was the opposite. But, to see the progression with him and how he's become, like a leader and how he competed, like you said, probably the most important thing is he really competes hard. And, and I hope this summer, I think he needs to work. I think he needs to shoot the puck more. As your top player, I think he needs to develop a better shot and, get more goals. And I think if he does that, he'll score more.
Quickly, Jacques, can you just slide an inch to your left? Perfect. I'll put you more in the camera. What was it like to have? And you brought up Alfie earlier. I'm just curious when you spent, I think it's 8 seasons coaching him to now uh, being on the bench with him. Was that a surreal moment in a way?
I was. I mean, like I always had a great respect for Alfie. Like I remember when I came in, he was the one player that was in his first year, and he was such a professional then. And what I always admired about Alfie was that his work ethic and his dedication to his trade, working at getting better. Whether it's after practice, before practice, and the leader that he was for our team. I think that it's great that he's back in the organization, and I think he really enjoyed coaching. Now I think he's really into it, and he's such a competitor. Like he's still as competitive now as a coach than as he was when he played. Like I know all the coaches, whether it's they have a round of golf or whether it's tennis or pickleball or whatever game he has, he's always his compete level is always at the highest.
You know what always impressed me about Alfie, Jacques, and I know you were really big on fitness testing. Like when a star player has that mentality of almost like the work ethic of a guy that's on the fourth line, Alfie seemed to have that. I don't know if you remember his squats, how much he used to squat. Like it was crazy. But that's most star players wouldn't work as hard as he did. Like he just, like you said, he just had that drive inside of him. It was impressive.
I put it in a category. It's funny. I've had the privilege of coached like two players. Alfie is one of them, and my days in Pittsburgh with Crosby. Like it's amazing how dedicated they are to their profession, how they work, how they treat their teammates, how the leadership that they bring to a team, and then the quality people that they are. So I think I think Alfie is just a superhuman being.
You coached, and I was going to ask you because you've coached so many guys. When I look at like Doug Gilmour and Gary Roberts, like some super ultra competitors with Alfie and Crosby, like who's the biggest competitor you've ever played or ever coached?
Well, I think probably, like I said, Crosby and Alfie. Dougie was Gilmour, but he was a different era. I mean, like he's. I could just go on with the stories with Dougie. I don't think we want to talk about it here, but
sure we do.
You got a PG. You got a good one we could share, Jacques. I got to meet Dougie the last couple of years at some charity events. What a great guy! Like such a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
No, this show doesn't have a time limit. You can go on if you want.
No.
All right.
It was funny. I think it was last year. My partner, she has a business, and they're associated with Napa. And Napa had a congress in a convention in Niagara Falls, and they had asked Dougie for their banquet. So Dougie was there, and he got talking with my partner, and she told him who she was partnering with. Oh, he said, I remember him. I remember Jacques. So she took a picture, and she sent me a picture. And geez, I said, holy geez, he's aged, Dougie. I can understand why.
Speaking of Battle of Ontario, because he's a former Leaf, it was. Did it mean anything to watch this year's Battle of Ontario? Because I know you're part of the staff, obviously, of the Ottawa Senators, but did it bring back a lot of memories?
Yeah, but I think this team, like it was probably a bit the reverse. I think Toronto were definitely a better team, and I think we competed really hard. And I think it could have been different, maybe a bounce of the puck there. So I think it was a good step in the right direction. I think when we played Toronto, it was a different team. Like they had the Corson, Tucker, and those guys, and we were more skilled than them. And Eddie Belfour, was great. It brings memory, but not good memories, if you want. For me anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, go ahead, Yorkie.
Sorry, Jacques, I know you watch a lot of the hockey right now. Who do you like with the teams remaining in the playoffs right now? Who are you liking the most right now?
I think I like Dallas a lot. I think there's a difference between the East and the West. I think
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
the East is more of a grinding game. The West, I think, has a lot more skill and seems to be faster.
Yeah.
Like the series Colorado and Dallas. I thought it was a great series.
Yeah.
Winnipeg, I mean St. Louis, we had some great games. So I don't know. I think Florida still, they're still the winning team. I mean, Toronto won the first two games. I went to the game in Florida, the last two games in Florida. So they're back to playing the kind of hockey that brought them success. And like last night, their goaltending was outstanding. So it'll be interesting. They've got great depth. Like I think the difference with Florida, their third line is such a great checking line, but they could also score. It'll be interesting. It's some great hockey.
Yeah, you must love watching Barkov play hockey. The way he plays, like just so smart on top of the puck. Him and Sam Bennett, I think, have been incredible.
Yeah, they are. They have, and it's interesting when you look at you analyze Florida's makeup of their team. It's not so much the kids that they drafted because they've only got 4 or 5 kids that they drafted. It's the trades that they made, the acquisition. Like you say, Sam Bennett is one. Reinheim, for instance.
Kachuk.
Verigi, Tkachuk.
Yeah.
A lot of their players that have come through trades and have been a big impact on their team.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions from the chat. One from Hockey Country wants to know, did you ever lose it in the room?
Yeah, I'd say I lost it once in a room in Montreal, not in Ottawa. I lost it once in Montreal. I kind of attacked the players. Really, I kind of feel bad. I should call them back because I feel that I shouldn't have done that. But I think Yorkie would know. Like it seemed like like on the outside when people watch game, like I was always under control. And I think I was under control with the team. But the one thing I got to say, I think I was pretty hard on players. I was fair, but I think it's different today. Like I used to be hard on players in front of other players. Like in our team, I really believe that what happened in the dressing room stayed in the dressing room. And I think I was hard on I was fair, but I was hard on players as far as pushing them to be better.
I would 100% agree with that, Jacques. Especially me early when I came to Ottawa, because
tell the story.
But no, it's just you don't. I always found this because he figured this out later when you start coaching. Is Jacques was really good at making people accountable, and not to you, but to the teammate. He'd always say, "I remember it's the guy beside you. You're playing for the guy beside you, and you're playing for the fans." But it sinks in after a while, but just getting guys out of their comfort zone. Because I was comfortable. I was like, I'm okay. But then Jacques had a way to get more out of you, but you don't realize that till later, till you kind of figure things out. But it's an art form because not all coaches can do it, Jacques. Some guys try and be friends with you, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, the other thing that I learned from you and Sean Van Allen from that trade is that, and I've used that after. And I still use it with other coaches now. I think sometimes it can take half a season for you as a coach to adapt to a new player and vice versa for the new player to adapt to you, to know him, to get to know him. Because I remember, not you, but I remember when I first saw Sean Van Allen skate, I said, oh, shit. I said, this guy can't skate so slow, so slow. And, I like to play a fast game. But, then as you work with him, you see that, he's not fast, but he's smart. He's always in the right spot, moves the puck, always in the right place, and was a very effective player for us. And I remember when I was in Pittsburgh when we acquired Nick Bonino, Mike Sullivan said the same thing after the first practice. He comes in, holy jeez, this guy's slow. And I remember telling Mike about the Sean Van Allen. I said, okay, hold on, Mike. I said, I know Doesn't seem not fast, but I'm sure give him some time, and he was a really integral part of us winning a cup there.
Hey, kind of like a Matteo. Like a Matteo got off to a slow start here this year. And then all of a sudden, all these smart plays, a little bit like Sean Van Allen too, smart in the right place, always takes care of the puck. Like, it took a Matteo a little while to get going.
For sure. And sometimes the worst ones are the trades that you make at the trade deadline, especially if it's a highly skilled player. I think sometimes some of those guys it's not enough time to adjust to a new team. Like sometimes they've never been traded. They move away. Their family stays behind. They're not comfortable. Sometimes it takes a while for people to get used to the new organization, new city, new environment.
Yeah. So you said when they made the trade with Anaheim, you realized about Sean Van Allen. You skipped over mentioning anything about Jason York. What was it like to coach Jason York, or what were your thoughts when you first saw him?
Well, I think I like Jason because I think we needed, we needed to improve our defense. And I think what I like about Jason, he could skate. He had good speed. He could move the puck. I think it was all around. Like I wouldn't say like he wasn't an offensive defenseman. Like I think he was an all-around defenseman that you could rely on. And I think he helped us to bring the program where we got. I think. How many years did you play in Ottawa?
5, Jacques. 5. We never missed the playoffs once. Every year we made them. Every year.
I hear this every time. I can't have this positivity over a player. Let's get to. Can I ask you about Tom Barrasso and how you managed him?
Well, Tom, probably a good example. We got Tom at the trade deadline, and Tom was a special person. I think the one thing, probably most Jason would know. I think he used to send the dry cleaning to New York to have his shirt done in New York. What was the name? Who was the dry cleaner in Ottawa?
Hillary's?
Hillary, yeah. I guess they weren't good enough.
Off to New York. Yeah. He
was different, but he brought a dimension to our team that he had won. Was very highly skilled, and
But was he tough to coach? Like, so we saw like a guy that was just very standoffish and whatever. But I know he's an ultra competitor, so I was just curious if it was easy for you or if it was like, what are we doing here?
No, I think with goaltenders, stop the puck. That's all.
Stop the puck.
And now, like in today's game, they all have you got a coach just for the goalies. It's one coach for two players. But they're really important. They're and what's interesting with Tom is that he's been in coaching. I don't know. I think he's still coaching now.
Yeah.
He went to Russia and worked quite a few years there.
Yeah. I liked that. I liked him, Jacques, because he was cocky. I like a goalie that's a little bit arrogant, like he has that belief in himself. But it's funny you mentioned about the dry cleaning. He's one of the first players that was living the high lifestyle. Like when we traded for him, I don't remember this. He was in the dressing room within 2 hours. We're like, how did you get here so fast? It's like, I just took the PJ. We're like, what's a PJ? He's like, private jet. And we're like, oh, this guy's coming in on a private jet. Because, we were guys back then weren't taking private jets like they are now, but Barrasso was.
Yeah.
Okay, one more player, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions. Jason Spezza. So he was always one that was, I don't know if friction's the word, but he wanted to play, and obviously you wanted him to get some time in the A. Would you have done it differently if you were starting out coaching with him today?
No, I think the player dictates where he needs to be. I think it's very difficult for a player to learn the game at the NHL level. I think because what happens if you're not ready to play, you lose your confidence and you become a survivor. And when you do that, it's not good if you're a young player. You're not going to improve. You're not going to become the player that you're supposed to be. And I think for me, it's the club responsibility. If a player is not ready, if a young guy is not ready, it's their responsibility to put him in an environment where he could succeed, develop his confidence, develop his skill, and acquire some veterans to fill up that spot in the meantime. And I'll give you an example. The Max Pacioretty, who's playing right now with the Leaf. When we played Toronto early in the series, he wasn't playing. I think it might have been the first night. Coaches, we were walking to a restaurant in Toronto, and I ran into Max because I coached him in Montreal, and he's a good example. Max, when he first started, he made our team off after the training camp, and he wasn't ready. And I think after a month, we sent him down, and he spent maybe 3 months in the American League, and then we brought him back up, and never went back down, and was a really good player, a great player for us. So I take it. I don't blame the player. I think it's the organization that has to control the development of a player. And the one thing you got to remember, every case is different too. It's not a set rule. Mm-hmm. So sometimes, for instance, like if you got Slavkovsky in Montreal, it's a kid that comes from Europe. You got to adapt. So sometimes maybe he needs to develop there, but it's very difficult to develop at the NHL level because the margin of errors is so small. And,
Yep. Fair enough. May 28th, you're being inducted in the Ottawa Sports Hall of Fame. It's a pretty cool honor. Your thoughts on just another accolade in your illustrious career?
I guess it's just a sign that I'm getting old. you get recognized when you get old.
Yorkie's getting old. He's not in the Ottawa Sports Hall of Fame.
No, not yet.
Very, I think I've been very fortunate to have great people to work with and great players to coach. I mean, like that's the one thing, the difference, the Sens right now to when I coached the Sens. I remember every year, and I think the media, they used to always kind of give us a couple jab about not signing free agents. But we always had a couple of players graduating or coming from college or coming from junior that were, ended up being great players. Like I was very fortunate. We got a lot of good young players that improve our team every year. I think I've been fortunate to coach some great players.
You did. You developed a lot.
It's pretty crazy, eh, Jacques? And I've ran into a couple of those guys. You must see Marty Havlat sometimes in Florida. Do you ever run into Marty in Florida?
Yeah, I used to. 2-3 years ago, we used to have a suite for the Panthers game, and Marty used to come, so I used to see him there. I haven't seen him as much the last 2 years, but great story about Marty. I got to tell you, when I was coaching in Pittsburgh, I don't know. Well, that was the year that they had the outdoor game in Ottawa when you played Montreal.
2017.
Yeah.
2017. Okay.
Yeah.
You had the alumni game. I think the Friday, the day before the main game.
And Parliament Hill.
Was it at Parliament Hill? Yeah.
Yep.
So it was the day before. He was traveling to Ottawa. I think it was about 2:00 in the afternoon. I get this call. I hadn't spoken with Marty. I can't remember how long it was. Marty Havlat. Oh, how are you doing, Marty? Good. He says, I just wanted to. He says, I know we didn't have. It wasn't smooth between you and I. I said we had a lot of battles. I said, well, yeah. I said that's normal sometimes, But he says, I really want to thank you. Appreciate what you did for me. He says, like you were hard on me, but it made me a better player. So it was kind of nice to get that from him, So because he was a really good player, but he was a cocky guy and just needed to be put in his place from time to time.
He admits it too.
Oh, we had him on the show, Jacques. He was great. He told the story. I don't even remember when he was it with Messier? He did the cross check too in the one game early in his career. Like just so ballsy, but that's what made him great. Like just there's certain guys, right, that you would say, I will pay money to watch that guy play. Erik Karlsson, Marty Havlat, Marian Hossa. Like there's another guy Tim Stutzla, just guys that you don't know what they're going to do, right?
How about that? I think when he came into the league, he was on the fourth line with Mike Fisher and Alfie. Three kids. I mean, three great
They all
players.
played 1,000. Well, Fish and Vermette played 1,000 games. Yeah.
Yeah, Fish, that's how we operated, like in Ottawa. We didn't have the money, we didn't sign free agents to big money, but the scouting, the head scouts, the scouts did a great job,
Unbelievable.
Players and what was nice about them is we had a chance to really get them to play the right way right away, when they're young.
But Marty also created the entire Philadelphia-Ottawa brawl.
Yeah.
He's the sole reason for the most penalty minutes in one game between you and the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah.
And I know I've asked you about this before. Do you and Ken Hitchcock, I know you've coached with each other like at the Olympics and stuff. Did you ever discuss that game afterwards?
I don't think we have. No, I was actually a roommate with Ken at the Olympics. And I remember because I was doing a radio show in French in Gatineau, and at 6:00 every morning I was on the radio in Ottawa, and Kenny, we had like a room, together, like two single beds, and he always I'd wake him up because I was on the radio every morning at the Olympics.
Sure, he loved that.
Yeah, sure.
Great memories. Jacques, last question I want to ask you about is Travis Green. I almost want to ask you if he's the right coach, but obviously you're not going to say he's not the right coach for Ottawa, but what is it about his coaching style that's right for this team?
Well, I think that I think how he, his communication skills are great. I think, and what I like about Travis is his honesty. After a game, I think he's very honest about the performance of the players, and I think he pushes the players, and I think he uses his staff to really well, and I think he's done a great job. And I got to say, I think it's important. I'm glad that they hired somebody that had been a head coach before someone else, because I think it's always difficult in your first time as a head coach. And because I think you learn a lot. And when you look at Travis, he played a lot of years in the league. He played in, different roles, and at the end of his career, wasn't always in the lineup. So his personal experience, I think, is a great asset. And then, he coached junior, he coached in the American League, he coached in the NHL. And what I liked about him is that he empowers his staff. I mean, and he's very much a team guy. Like he gets the info from all his coaches, and he gets the input, and then he makes the decision. So he works really well as a team. And to me, I think he's done a great job, and he's a great coach for this team.
Sorry, I lied to you. Last thing. Do you still, Jason York brings up the stopwatch repeatedly. Do you still have a collection of stopwatches in your closet?
No, I don't know. I don't know if I still, I think I still have stopwatches somewhere in one of my bags, but I don't, probably for the hockey school. I don't have them on the wall. No.
The stopwatch, the stopwatch proves, and Jacques, this is a scientific fact, and we talked about hard skates. If we lost a game, and I remember this, and the shift lengths were too long, because we used to post the shift lengths on the wall, and if some guys were over 50 seconds, you were in big shit. And then if you lost, Jacques would line us all up on the goal line. He goes, "You guys want to take long shifts? Hey, you want to take long shifts? Okay, we're going to skate. We're going to skate." And it would be 45 seconds of down, back, down, back. See, you can't go hard for 45 seconds. It's impossible to go hard for 45 seconds. But that's what the stopwatch was for. If you lost and the shifts were long, you did the stopwatch skate. That's the skate you don't see anymore, Jacques, at any practices. But hey, it's pretty useful skate sometimes.
Sometimes it's good. The old days. You don't see it anymore.
I love it. Jacques, I appreciate you stopping by. I'll wait for your invitation to the lake. Go boating sometime together. But I thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jacques. That was
Bring your
great.
sidekick, Yorkie.
All right, I'll bring Yorkie. See you, pal. Thank you.
See you, Jacques.
Bye-bye.
There goes Jacques Martin, the 20th winningest coach in NHL history. He is 16th all time in games coached.
We forgot to ask him. I forgot to ask him the most important question because we haven't had Jacques on, you and I, before. I'm trying to remember.
No, what are you
I
going to ask him?
Well, we forgot to talk about the story when he hid in the lobby.
Oh my God,
Wally, come on!
Do you not do any work?
I was because you kept going. Last question, and then for everybody knows the story. For people who don't know the story, when Jacques was coaching, I was on the team a long time ago. We were in Florida, of all places. Florida's still playing right now. We had played, and we were supposed to fly back the next day, which we did. He told none of the team to go out. We did an executive team decision. All the guys, we said, we won the game. We need to go out and celebrate this because sometimes you got to make executive decisions. And we all went out, and guys got back late, and Jacques hid in the lobby. And then the next day when we got back, he had a list of times when all the guys got in, and he went around the room all, yeah, damn it, Wally. I wanted to ask, number one, where he was hiding. Because when you come home after curfew, the first thing you do, you come in quietly and you check the lobby and you see who's hiding behind plants, who's looking at certain places. You got to scope the space before you come in. And I think he was hiding. Some guys said I think Bonky said he was hiding behind a plant because Bonky came up, and I think it was Bonky, and I think I saw Jacques down there.
Because in like in the middle of the morning, if you will, or late at night, in an empty lobby if there's people there, right? You can tell.
Yeah.
So that must have been he might have been
one
just
of the
disguised as a lamp.
Yeah, I love lamp. He's the thing about missing curfew. It's not that I did it a lot, but if it's an art form, and a lot of guys told me this early in my career, like, hey kid, number one, if you're going to go out, this is what Mark Howe told me when I played in Mark Howe and Brad McCrimmon. Kid, if we're going to go out and have some pops, we're going to be first to the rink tomorrow, and we're going to have a workout. But also, if you're going to be late, let's say curfew's 12 midnight, don't come in at 12:05, 12:10, 12:20, because that's usually when the coaches are coming back. You got to be really late. Because no one's going to wait around till the wee hours. But the funniest part of the whole story was Jacques went around to all the guys in the dressing room, and everybody had to give their times. And one of the guys, Christopher Olson, who had a cup of coffee here in Ottawa, he thought he was done because he came home at like 8 a.m. and he told Jacques that time, and Jacques didn't have the time listed. So he just like, whatever, it skipped over it. And then Olson was so relieved because he thought he was done.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Anyway. All right. Well, that's on you. So I wasn't part of that story, so that's on you. So you apologize to people. Let's keep going here. This show brought to you by Shoeless Joe's. Get ready, Canada. Playoff season is here, and Shoeless Joe's Sports Grill in Kemptville and in Orleans, they're coming in hot. They're serving up fresh, made-to-order dishes every day. And for a limited time, you can dive into their True North playoff menu packed with bold flavors and fan favorites. But wait, the best part? Head to Shoeless Joe's, and you can win a trip to the finals. Whether it's a night out, a family dinner, or a game day with friends, Shoeless Joe Sports Grill is your home for great food, big moments, unbeatable vibes. Shoeless Joe Sports Grill, proudly Canadian, always, like Jacques Martin, legendary.
And also from our good friends at BEI. BEI is here right now for springtime, Wally, because it's time to give them a call for your equipment rentals, aggregate topsoil needs, custom crushing, screening. Even if you're thinking about getting that driveway done, BEI can help you out with that. So when you're planning your next project, Please consider BEI for all your aggregate supply needs. You can hit them up at 613-432-1120 at bonasherexcavating.com. BEI is helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. And Wally, speaking of Shoeless Joes, who you just mentioned, our good friend Jeff Underhill, one of the owners here at in Orleans and Kempville, he just sent me the best. He's got a great picture of Jacques. I don't know where he found this, of Jacques at St. Lawrence University.
Oh, wow.
I sent it in to Jake. Jake, I just texted it to you. We got to get this up on the.
Wow, this is the 72, 74 era.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Wow.
Jacques, he's a handsome man. But Jacques was a goalie at St. Lawrence University.
He's also a goalie at Ottawa U.
Yeah, he's Jacques started, like, he was coaching in the CCHL, coached in Rockland. Like, that's when he talks about, when he talks about Travis, about, he played in the NHL, but he went back and coached junior and American League, and you work your way up. So you it's a lot of steps. Like, it's very rare when you see guys like a Marty St. Louis, for example, just come in and just start coaching, because it's really tough. It's really tough to master your craft.
And now he's a finalist for the Jack Adams. And finally, our show is brought to you and presented to you by Bet365. Want to get on the action? Stanley Cup playoffs? At Bet365, they got you. From game props to player props, totals, and the money line. You can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champions, and Stanley Cup champions, and much, much more. You can also bet, by the way, on the World Championships, which are going on today. Whatever your bet, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get in on the game. An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please visit connectsontario.ca. The Worlds are going on. We'll see Pinto plays today against Switzerland, I think, Team USA, and Finland, Sweden, as Nick Matt-Palo takes on the Swedes. The Swedes are the favorite in that one, and I think the Americans are the favorite, although I haven't double-checked. Also tonight, playoff action going on, Yorkie, that I'm liking the second round.
Second round's been great.
Do we have I know now you've got Jake busy, and so he may not have the Bet365 slide that I have. Well, maybe I didn't even send it to him. So I don't know, it might be on me. Who do you like in tonight's games, Yorkie, as you have the Washington Carolina series, and then you've got Vegas and Edmonton, with Edmonton the favorite tonight, and Carolina the favorite against Washington today.
Carolina's,
I think Washington's going to win that
really
series.
Good. I don't.
Oh, see,
I don't. I just think Carolina is they're the team no one's talking about right now. Even before the playoffs started, nobody was. It's like, Carolina, yeah, they're going to do what they do. They're going to fizzle out. I'm not so sure. Like they just shut out the Caps. Goaltending's always kind of been the question mark as the playoffs go along with Carolina. But I love Brendan Moore as a coach. Like, he's one of the guys that his players really want to play for him. Like, his pregame speeches are legendary. I think that team plays the right way, and if they can just get good goaltending, which they have, I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina goes right to the final. As much as I like even Toronto's been really good. That Florida-Toronto series has been incredible. Florida is, man, they're a resilient bunch. You watch them play. Like that game last night, I watched it in the airport on my long layover back from Victoria. They didn't. Toronto had a couple of opportunities here and there, but man, they're a tough team to play against. But Carolina, geez, everyone's talking about Rantanen, and he's been best player in the playoffs. Stankoven's been pretty good for them. Like, if you go through that roster, their Aho's been good, Svechnikov. Like, they're such a deep team, and then their bottom tier guys like Martinuk have been just, everybody plays a role on that team. Like, they're just a really deep team. I got Carolina going to the final. I think this could be the year to get to the final. I don't think Washington's going to beat them.
I picked them at the beginning of the year to go to the final. I'm not sure I'm there now. The over under yesterday on the Dallas Vegas game, the Vegas Edmonton game tonight, which I've never seen was at 7.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I looked up. Edmonton has played, of their 9 playoff games, I think 7 of them have had 7 or more goals scored in those games. So I would take the over. It's now at 6.5. I would take the over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just when you think Vegas is done, they're a tough out too. Like the way they play, they're the big D on Vegas make it so tough to get to the front of the net. They lean on you. Nicholas Haig's like 6'6".
It's a fun series to watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't count Vegas out as much as Draisaitl and McDavid. How about that move McDavid pulled up? Poor Jack Eichel skating backwards, getting the front. I don't know if you saw that I think it was 2 games ago. He just embarrassed him. But that's the fastest guy in the world coming down on a forward.
If you're Jack Eichel, like, what are you thinking right now? Right? You're like,
don't cross your. One of the things you can't do when you're defending against McDavid when you're skating backwards is cross over, because he's watching and you see it as soon as Eichel crosses over. He's like the road runner. Just bam, beep beep. See you later.
It's amazing to watch.
Yeah,
Connor McDavid play.
Yeah.
Okay, we are back tomorrow with Graham Nichols. I do have a food question tomorrow, Yorkie.
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah,
I'm
not going to tell you. I'm saving it for tomorrow, but yeah, I got a food question. So it's been bugging me this weekend. So we'll see. Did you?
There's our Jacques. Sorry, Wally. There's our Jacques pick. So for everybody that's watching can see this. This picture was sent in to me. Look at Jacques there. He just got the good hair going.
He's got great hair. Yeah.
This is when he's at Sir Wilfrid Laurier High School in East Ottawa.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's that's going back a ways.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Jeff. Thanks for that one.
Wow. It's great. He looks, that's Jacques. By the way, I didn't bring up that you call him the Count either. I left that out. And the 10 peanut butter sandwiches.
I forgot about that one too. It's amazing how much Jacques loosened up though. Like and that's what doing media does for you. He did some TV. He just seems like he's in a great place in his life right now. Just enjoying being part of it. Yeah. And he's such a smart hockey guy.
He's very good. Tomorrow we are in the afternoon. I don't know if we settled on time, 3 or 4. I can't remember, Yorkie.
4 is good.
Okay. And then Thursday we're in the afternoon. I believe we have another guest, but they're on the West Coast, so we're going to have to go in the afternoon. So we're hoping to line that up. So
perfect.
The Sens summer series will continue as we continue to roll out more player interviews throughout the summer. Right. We'll chat tomorrow. See you, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.